He killed his first man at 13, not in battle, not in war. In a duel he had no business winning. A boy with a wooden stick against a trained swordsman. And the swordsman died. That was the beginning of Miyamoto Musashi. 60 duels, 0 defeats. The greatest swordsman Japan ever produced. And by the end of his life, he had nothing. No family, no home, no students who stayed. Just a cave, a pen, and a book that would outlive every empire on earth. Musashi was born in 1584, in a Japan tearing itself apart. Warlords carved the country into pieces. Samurai killed for land, for honor, for nothing at all. His father was a martial artist. His mother left. He was raised by an uncle, and by 13 he was already dangerous. When a traveling swordsman named Arima Kihei posted a public challenge in Musashi's village, the boy answered it. He beat the man to death with a wooden staff. There was no celebration, no trophy, just a dead man and a teenager who had discovered something about himself. He was very good at killing, and he felt nothing about it. At 16, he left home. He would not return for decades. What followed was a life of pure combat. Musashi walked across Japan looking for the strongest fighters he could find, and he challenged every one of them. He fought with 2 swords when everyone used one. He arrived late to duels to unsettle his opponents. He carved weapons from oars. He once killed a man with a bokken, a wooden training sword, because he considered a real blade unnecessary. His most famous duel was against Sasaki Kojiro, considered the finest swordsman in Japan. Musashi arrived hours late by boat, having carved a longer sword from a spare oar during the crossing. The fight lasted seconds. Kojiro died on the beach. 60 duels, 60 victories, not a single defeat. But here is the part nobody tells you. Between those duels, Musashi lived like an animal. He did not bathe. He did not comb his hair. He slept outside. He had no wife, no children, no fixed address. He wandered from province to province, fighting and moving on. He won every fight, and he had nothing to show for it except scars. By his 30s, Musashi stopped dueling. Not because he lost. He never lost. He stopped because winning had taught him something. Victory in combat meant nothing. Every man he killed was forgotten within a season. Every reputation he built faded the moment he left town. The sword gave him survival, not meaning. He tried other things. He adopted sons. Both eventually left him. He offered his services to lords. Most rejected him. He was too wild, too unpredictable, too dangerous to employ. The greatest fighter in Japan could not find a job. He painted, he sculpted, he wrote poetry, and he was good at these things. Remarkably good. His ink paintings are now considered national treasures. But none of it filled the emptiness. He had spent his entire life mastering the art of destroying other people. And now that he was the best in the world at it, he discovered that destruction was not a foundation you could build a life on. In 1643, at 59 years old, Musashi climbed into a cave called Reigando. He was sick. His body was failing. Decades of combat, rough living, and neglect had broken it down. He sat in that cave for 2 years, and he wrote The Book of 5 Rings, a manual on strategy, combat, and the nature of conflict. But it is not really about sword fighting. It is about seeing clearly, about stripping away ego and distraction until only truth remains. He wrote, Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. He wrote, Do not under any circumstances depend on a partial feeling. He wrote, Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Every lesson was something he had learned the hard way. Every principle was a scar turned into wisdom. He finished the book weeks before he died. He gave it to his student. Then he sat upright in that cave, crossed his arms, and died alone. Musashi spent his youth proving he was the strongest. He spent his middle years discovering that strength without purpose is just energy with no direction. And he spent his final years trying to write down what he wished he had known from the beginning. The Book of 5 Rings is read by millions today. Businessmen study it, martial artists memorize it, philosophers reference it. But the lesson of Musashi is not in the book. The lesson is in the life. He won every fight and lost everything that mattered. He mastered the sword and failed at being human. He achieved what every warrior dreams of, total dominance, and it gave him nothing but loneliness and a cave to die in. The samurai who never lost a duel spent his last days writing that winning was never the point. If you made it this far, you think differently. Like and subscribe. We go deeper every week.